In this video, I'm going to talk about the top 10 things that people do in Elden Ring Nightreign to ruin the game. In my 100 hours so far of playing this game, it hasn't taken me very long to figure out what things I just can't stand and just ruin my evening, or at least my session at best, when I'm trying to play this game. And like Marvel Rivals, there's just a bunch of idiots that end up queuing up. This game puts you in random groups with random people, and most of them are really stupid. Now, I have to admit, I did a lot of these stupid things when I first started playing this game because I didn't know better, but I'm talking about people that are doing the second, third, and fourth, and fifth boss in this game. You should really know better, because if you cut your teeth on the first boss, which for a lot of people took them a lot of run-throughs in this game, you should know all these things. And if you're not aware, this is a friendly reminder on how you can make your game session and other people's game sessions much better in Nightreign. Or you can just listen to me rant for your entertainment. So without further ado, let's get started on the top 10 things people do to ruin Nightreign. Number one, in no particular order, is going off on your own. This game is very difficult, and if you're playing 3 players, the game is scaled to be difficult with lots of hit points and ferocious enemies. And if you go off by yourself for any reason at any time, most of the time you're going to end up dead, and it's going to hinder the rest of the party, the other 2 people that are exploring the map. Don't do it, okay? Be a team player, stick with your other players. You can either lead or you can have someone else lead and just follow the group. Just go with the flow. Wherever the other 2 people are going, just go with them. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're probably focused on going to attack somebody or take a boss or get some good gear or do something that's going to be good for you, okay? So you need to check your ego at the door, and if you really want to play by yourself and do everything just the way you want to, there's a solo mode just for you, okay? The next thing I see people do, whether they're leading or just going off on their own to ruin this game, is they go right for the flasks, and that seems to be the only thing they want on the map. And this is a waste of time, because that precious time needs to be spent attacking bosses and enemies and getting lots of runes so you can level up your character. You don't need to go chasing all the flasks all at the same time. In fact, you can just get 1, maybe even 2 for the first day, and the second day you've got time to get the other 2 or even 3 if you're really gung-ho about it. But really, those should be picked up on your way through as you're completing other objectives. You should not be setting a point all the way across the map and just wasting all that time to cross the entire map just to get another refill on your healing flask. You're wasting everyone's time, and you're actually sabotaging the game. These matches are up to 40 minutes plus long, and this is what makes me so frustrated about this, is that when someone ruins my game session, that could be up to 40 minutes of just wasted time. This is why this video is so important to me personally. Another thing people do to set up this game to be a real waste of time, and this isn't perfect, but people can do a lot better, is that they need to pursue weapons that the boss is weak to. And a lot of times on the map, you can see the little icon with which element these bases are that have bosses, where you can take the boss out and get a weapon with that element. Now, I'm not perfect at that, and it doesn't always work out where I can find the perfect weapon to counter the boss, but every little advantage is going to help you, because these bosses at the end on day 3 have a cajillion hit points, and anything you can do to whittle down their health a lot quicker is just to your advantage, and it's going to help your team more. So don't ignore that. So be sure to make it a priority to hit one of these ruins and bases that have a boss that has the same elemental weapon that you need, that the boss is weak to. Just do it. Be a leader and point that out, and make sure that everyone agrees on that, and go together as a team and just get that done as quickly as possible. Then you can power up that weapon on the end of day 1 or day 2, etc. Another great way to sabotage the match and waste everyone's time for 45 minutes is to ignore places that have bosses that will give you enough runes to really level up your character to get as close to level 15 as possible. I've had a lot of expeditions that I've been on where I'm trying to get people to the volcano, I'm trying to get people to the main huge castle in the middle, and everyone just wants to go and take out their second poison ruins boss, which is easy. They go down in like 2 seconds, but that's not going to get the team leveled up. It's not going to get them to the good weapons and maybe even a shot at the legendary weapon. It just makes me frustrated, because I already know now that we're not going to be a high enough level, and we're not going to have good enough weapons, and our final battle on day 3 is probably going to end in failure. The next thing that people do that really annoys me is they join a multiplayer mission and they're trying to work on a remembrance at the same time, which means they have to go onto the map and find a certain boss and fight that boss to get a certain item or whatnot. And yeah, if the whole team goes by that area and we happen to do it, that's fine, but it never works out that way. And so we get is one person just by themselves for some unknown reason across the map, and then they end up dying, and that's probably what they're working on, is trying to get a remembrance done. So do your remembrances on a solo campaign. They're not that hard. hard. Don't do it during a multiplayer session and just break up the harmony and momentum of a group. This one's kind of annoying, and it can ruin a session if it's at the wrong time, or if you've got the storm coming in, is that if you finish a boss in the ruins, for example, and there's some tough side enemies that are supporting that boss, clean them up before we start choosing what our reward's going to be for that battle, or trying to rest at the point of grace. I've had a lot of us just die while we're perusing our reward there after defeating a boss, and then we all have to get back to get our runes, and if the storm's coming in at the same time, it just really messes things up for the match. The next thing people do to ruin matches in this game comes from just sheer overconfidence and arrogance, is that they try to lead the team or by themselves, worse yet, take on a boss that they're level 1 or 2 or even 3, and that boss is just too difficult for the team to take on until maybe closer to the end of day 1, where everyone's closer to level 7 or 8, or maybe better yet, even day 2, when they can just run through them really quickly. People just need to be patient and respect this game and understand that these bosses will annihilate you at a low level, and if you get your team wiping like that immediately, it just wastes most of the day, and that's a higher level that you're not going to achieve because everyone's dying and trying to get their runes and just wasting their time. I've had battles where I could just tell we're plinking at the boss and we're not doing much damage at all, and I just run away at that point and mark another point for everyone on the team. All right, so here's the next thing that really drives me crazy and ruins matches for people, is that I don't mind letting people lead. I try to set pins, and if it's clear that the other 2 players want to go to a different point that someone else sets, that's fine. I'll go with the flow and I'll follow them because it's more important to be together. Now, with that being said, what I can't stand is when someone sets a pin and we all start heading towards it, and all of a sudden they change the pin to another location when we've already ran to one location that they had set a pin for previously. That's just really annoying. So if you're going to lead a team, make your pin there and just let the team go there. And yeah, if you change your mind and something else comes up that you think you want to do on your way to that destination, it's best just to go there as a team and finish it and then set a pin to that next destination. All right, so no more pin swapping while you're playing. It's just annoying, and again, it wastes time and keeps you from leveling up, and if you don't level up enough, you're not going to win that battle with that final boss. Okay, the next thing that people do to ruin the game, I have to set this up a little bit. There are bosses like the dragon at the bottom of the volcano, which give you a shot to convert any of your gear to a legendary item. It takes a long time to get down to this dragon, and you have to run quickly, and you have to pass some of the enemies, and I've had so many times where I played with random strangers, and I'm trying to lead people down to the bottom of the volcano, and someone just gets sidetracked and decides they want to fight every single enemy on the way down. You just don't have enough time to do that. Before you know it, the storm's coming in, and you got to catch the eagle to get back up to the top with your legendary weapon. So I just hate it when people fight everything when this is a time-based game, and you've got to choose your targets, and especially when you're a team and you're trying to run to get to a special boss, you're just ruining it for everyone, because the team can move a lot faster if everyone attacks all the important enemies that they need to attack at the same time. So if you're following someone who's leading your team, attack who they're attacking. Don't go off on your own and try to make your own plays on your own. It may ruin the chance of your match being successful. Personally, it's really frustrating to get down to the dragon and to have 2 of us take the dragon on and just not enough time to finish the job. All right, so the final thing people do to drive me crazy and ruin a match in this game is they leave the match. And I'm not talking like, let's say you get on and you could just tell your team is a bunch of idiots and you don't want to waste 45 minutes. I don't actually blame you for quitting at that point. And the game is supposed to penalize you, but I hear it's only like a 5-minute delay of getting back into matchmaking. So I'm not going to waste 45 minutes with a couple of idiots, or at least one idiot that's ruining the team. At the same time, people will leave this match after you've put like a half hour into it and you've got your weapons and you're cruising right along, and all of a sudden they get lost, or they don't keep up with you, or just they didn't get the weapons they like, or they don't think they're gonna win. Whatever reason is, they quit the match, and then all of a sudden it's 2 of you, and the game is not scaled properly for 2 players to fight all the enemies together. It's scaled for 1 player on solo mode, and then it's scaled for 3 players in multiplayer mode. So if a player leaves, you're kind of screwed, because the bosses still have a ton of hit points, and there are many more ads, and they're ferocious, and it's just gonna be again, more wasted time, and your chances of winning that match are going to pretty much just dissipate when someone rage quits for any reason at all. And I know that's the risk when you play this game. I would encourage you that if the game's not going well, you never know how the final battle is going to turn out. And on this match that you're watching right now on this video, we go on to fight Adele on the third day and win that battle. This was actually the first battle with Adele that I have won, and I have been trying all week to beat Adele, and I didn't even get really good weapons in this game. I didn't get to as high a level as I'd gotten before. For all intents and purposes, I didn't think we had a chance, but in this game, you don't get a lot of chances to practice against these final bosses. There's no save point right before them. You've got to play through all 3 days each time just to practice fighting against these bosses, from what I understand. If you like this game, Nightreign, feel free to subscribe, because I'm going to put that boss battle up as its own video just to show people what I did to beat Adele, because Adele's a really tough boss for a lot of people. Quick correction, this is actually the boss battle against Sentient Pest that's in this video, and then the Gaping Jaw, which is Adele, I have that as well, so I'll put both of those boss battles up on my channel. It just goes to show that you just never know what's going to happen, and you should not quit when you don't think you're going to win, because you might win, and if worst case, you're going to get the practice, and you're going to gain knowledge and experience, and you're going to become better. I guarantee it. So don't give up. So that's it for this video. Please subscribe if you want to hear more of my emotional rants and takes on popular games like Nightreign and Marvel Rivals, etc. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.